mean, I'd love to watch him again.
Okay, here we go. Let's do it.
Through his legs.
Right through him.
Game over.
Just that overview.
Right.
Wolanin able to end this one just over 5 minutes
net,
into the...
Pucks on net.
It's crazy, eh? Shots on net.
Yeah, imagine. Yeah. What did we end up? 45 shots on net? 46?
Oh, let's see.
46.
The Abbotsford Canucks. Yeah, ending up with 46 shots on net. So hell of an effort there, and just peppering Poirier. But Poirier looked good too, right?
Yeah, he held the Stars in that game multiple times. I mean, the third period was all Abbotsford for the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, Abby pushed hard and he held them in. The big Stars could have used a little Remy Poirier up against Edmonton tonight. But no, kudos to him. Absolutely stellar performance from the Texas goalie. Abbotsford had multiple chances to end this game. And then, of course, it's just a knuckle puck from the bounce off the boards. Just get it on net and see what happens. It goes right through them, right? And you just never know. You never know. And that's why I get so frustrated when our big Canucks refuse to shoot the puck sometimes, because it's just all we were taught in minor hockey was pucks on net, because you never know what'll happen. You can't score if you don't shoot. You can't score if you don't hit the net. So, just really good stuff out of Abbotsford. A really complete, tight game played by all of them. Again, the penalty kill remains dominant in these playoffs. They are operating above 97% in the playoffs, which has got to be some sort of record for a team that's gone this far. For the amount of games they've played, it's absolutely unreal to have that sort of confidence in your penalty kill. That when Lekkerimäki takes an unfortunate high sticking late, you're not really that worried when the penalty kill has to go out there, because they've just been unreal all playoffs. So a big kill late there in the third, get to overtime, and not really any dangerous chances out of Texas. Out of their 4 shots, they were just kind of perimeter stuff. Really looked like Abbotsford was going to take this game from the second the puck dropped in the third period.
Well, and it was interesting because I mentioned a couple times during the whole game that the Canucks were really not doing well in the faceoff dot, but what they were doing well is after they lose the draw, then their forward would step through and end up getting the puck anyway. So even though the Texas player would have drawn the puck back, then Ty Mueller would jump through, or Max Sasson jumps through. And so essentially it's like, okay, yeah, you guys can put the puck and then we'll just skate onto it and take it into your zone.
Yeah, I mean, they're so well coached on face-off situations, which is not surprising considering what Manny Malholtra's claim to fame was late in his career, being one of the best, if not the best in history in the face-off dot in the NHL. I mean, he was pretty much a lock to win face-offs until he had the unfortunate eye injury.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that's the kind of thing you need, is those attention to the details, because that's what ends up winning the game. I was a little concerned because obviously you said Lekkerimäki ends up taking that penalty, high sticking call. And that occurred right after it was a really weak play by him, which you haven't seen a lot from him, but he got his stick lifted and that puck got taken away just like that. It was too soft of a play. Ends up taking high sticking. So luckily enough for him, they don't end up getting scored on because the penalty kill is so great. But probably the first time this playoffs where I've seen Lekkerimäki, and I'm like, ooh, that was a bad one.
Yeah, and to be honest, might see him taking a game off in game 2. Not his best effort out there tonight. He did have a couple of chances, but really falling behind as a rookie when it comes to the playoffs. Not so much a passenger, just not really finding that extra gear yet, which is fair. I mean, he's still super young. I'm not knocking the talent that this kid has, but these are big games, and you find out whether you have it or you don't. And he's still learning that process, and maybe he does find it if they let him have another game. It looked like he was starting to get there late in the Coachella series. And then the Colorado series with the physicality and stuff, he kind of had to shy away a bit because they were rough and pushing him around and slashing him and hacking him. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if he's still nursing a few things. And is a bit day to day with some injuries because he took some healthy slashes in that Eagles series. So maybe he gets a maintenance day. And because I know Ratu is real close to coming back. He was skating he almost skated with the regulars today, but then got moved to the not playing side. But I know he's ready to get back in the lineup and wants to get back in the lineup. So that would be a huge offensive injection for these guys up the middle, and could potentially move maybe Sasson to the wing and give Lekkerimäki a night off.
Think if they do take Lekkerimäki out right away, then maybe even a Klimovich could come in, or is that not a good trade?
Against Texas, I don't mind Klimovich coming back in. His game obviously suits a little more against them than it did against the Eagles. Obviously, then you do a righty for a righty, so that's not too bad of a swap. But then it also depends on who would come out for Ratu because all of the centers are playing pretty damn good right now. So, if he's getting healthy, then we'll have to see what Manny does. But I mean, he's when he wins, he pretty much goes back with the same lineup. Doesn't change much, and this team was pretty dominant tonight. From top to bottom, even though Lekkerimäki didn't have a great game and he took that late penalty, his line still generated a lot of chances. Phil DiGiuseppe with 10 friggin' shots on net tonight. Who didn't have that on my bingo card?
No.
Just an unreal game from him. Linus Karlsson too, all over the ice tonight. Just really, really good stuff out of that line. PDG and Karlsson both with an incredible effort tonight. So yeah, just you love taking game one in a series. It just gives you that extra edge. And going into Saturday night, they're probably going to have an even bigger crowd there. Weekend games tend to sell out easier than these weekday games. So even more energy in the building. Hopefully they can get out and score first for a change. That's still been a struggle in these playoffs.
Yes.
And hopefully Artie doesn't have one of his game two stinkers.
Should we just put Tolopilo in for game two?
I would at this point. I mean, it's just statistically, just throw Tolopilo in and be like, already take game two off because you have all freaking playoffs.
Yeah. What is the seating capacity for the Abbotsford Center? It's like 7,000 or something. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think they were only about 1,500 short tonight. Yeah, so they had still really good for a Wednesday in May or Thursday in May.
Yeah. It's short notice too.
Saturday night, I would expect a full sellout.
Oh yeah, I won't be surprised on that. And we wouldn't be doing ourselves justice if we didn't do our usual thing. We talk about how good the defense is on this AHL Canucks team because my goodness, like it's the coaching too, but just the way they activate. Like who would have thought that Brisebois would score a goal even, right? Like he's got 2 in the playoffs, so he doesn't score a lot. But you go through the list, like Jet Wu jumps into the play, Cole McWard, Brisebois, Kirill Kudryavtsev. You know who was probably the least active out there for at least jumping in? Victor Mancini, which is kind of not the normal thing, and then obviously Christian Wolanin getting the game-winning goal. How much of that is coming from the system and how much of that is coming from the composition of the defense?
I think it's a healthy balance of both. I talked early in the season that Manny was trying to develop a system similar to the 2010-2011 Canucks, where we saw the defense be a huge part of that team's offensive structure and jumping up in the rush when they needed to and chipping in points. And it was a team effort top to bottom, 4 lines, 6D, and everyone had a job to do and everyone bought in. And that's the kind of culture that Manny has created around this team. And it doesn't matter who comes in or out of the lineup. Everyone knows the role they're going in to fill in for. And it's like really smooth. all playoffs long when they've needed to adjust. He's made the simple tweaks, and they haven't lost 2 games in a row all playoffs long. And they continue to get out ahead in most of their series. They haven't been behind in any series, knock on wood. So hopefully this continues. They take game 2 and then they go down to Texas. And, as much as I would like them to win it down there, I kind of want them to lose all 3 so they or lose 2 at least so they can come back and win in Abbotsford. Just 2. Win one of them and then come back and win it at home. But no, honestly, just really incredible stuff out of this team. Really tons of growth from Malholtra as a coach. And then I sent you that clip of him too in the dressing room after the last win against Colorado. And it's just like the energy the guy has. He has that youthful energy that connects with these young guys, but he also has the veteran experience of being an NHLer and going through the motions that way. And just looks like he creates an incredible atmosphere in the room where you would want to come to work every day and just work your butt off for the guy, because I bet you he's working his butt off harder than the half that team in the gym anyways. The guy still looks like he could play 20 minutes a game.
We gave Jujhar Khaira a little bit of a stern looking at the last couple games because I felt like his game had maybe fallen off a little bit. Ends up with an assist on the game winner goal, but even beyond that, just looked like he was taking his strength and using a little bit more against probably a bit of a smaller Texas team. We probably see him and Blair, right? Like the two of them together were just a wrecking crew out there playing together again. And man, if I'm Texas, I'm worried about getting stuck in those guys' trolley tracks.
Yeah, absolutely. That line, right? Like when they put them back together with Nate Smith, it was really successful earlier in the playoffs, and they got away from it a bit with Coachella and stayed away from it a bit early in the Colorado series. And I was so happy when he went back to it, because this is what you get from them. And when Blais stays focused and isn't getting, his emotions getting the better of him and letting guys get under his skin. I mean, there were some rats on that Colorado team that are longtime AHLers that know exactly how to get under your skin. And Tynan did that. Tynan was under Blais' skin that whole series, and eventually he just blew his top. So, I mean, it happens. He's a passionate hockey player. He plays on the edge. But when it's channeled, you see what that line can do. They created a lot of good chances. I mean, the first chance of the game that Abbotsford had was Blais sending one across to Khaira that just got broken up. So I would expect them to keep going and banging and crashing and using their size and speed to the advantage. And Texas hasn't faced Abbotsford all year, so they had no idea what they were in for. And they're going to have to adjust. But, given the chances that Abbotsford had tonight, I mean, is Poirier really going to have that kind of game again? I don't know if he is that capable of a goalie to have that kind of a run. I wasn't, following his stats heavily early in the playoffs. But it's pretty rare that a goalie faces 46 shots and comes out the next night and can face another 46 and still put up the same performance. So we will have to see, because the forwards usually make adjustments too.
Yeah, I think you've actually seen in this playoff so far, I'll pull it up here for everyone. They've actually had both Hellberg and Poirier playing. So Poirier has played the majority, so he's played the 7 games. But they have had Hellberg in as the backup, has played 3 games so far. I would not actually be surprised if maybe you do see Hellberg in the next one. But that maybe that change. Let's say Abby wins the next game and Poirier's in net. Then I think the first game back in Texas, which is only a 1-day gap, we thought it was going to be a bit more of a gap. But maybe that's the game where you see them throw their backup in if they come back to Texas 2-0 or 0-2.
Yeah, possibly. We'll have to see what adjustments they make, and also they might get a couple of reinforcements down from Dallas as well, who were eliminated tonight from the NHL playoffs.
Yeah. What do you know what the names were? I didn't hear what the names were for the 2 guys, but
I can't remember. I'd have to go check. I remember hearing them, but I forgot to write them down,
Yeah.
and I'm not that deep into the Dallas Stars to know their fringe prospects.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we'll I'm sure we'll see them papered down here shortly.
Yeah.
And we'll be able to have that info next game for sure.
So 3 stars of the game. A little more difficult than I thought it would be for you, but if you're giving out the 3 stars, who you're giving them to for tonight's game?
Oh, tonight's game would have been a tough one for sure. Probably give one to Remy Poirier. I mean, he had a hell of a game. It's not just because of the volume of shots he faced, but the quality of shots that he faced tonight were quite stellar. So he had probably one of the better games of his career. I would bet he would agree, even though he took the loss.
Mm-hmm.
Then probably give one to Christian Wolanin for the game-winning goal.
Mm-hmm.
And me personally, Ty Mueller, goal and assist, had a really good game out there.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they gave it to Carlson.
Yeah. Which is
Yeah,
fine
who
too.
2 assists, and I mean he was all over the ice as well. So he had a heck of a game.
Yeah. Always, and I mean, again, I feel like the Abbotsford play-by-play guy Brandon Essel usually does a pretty good job of picking these stars. So Poirier is the 3rd star, Christian Wolanin with a game winner with the 1 goal as the 2nd star, and then Linus Carlson coming in with the 2 assists, so he ends up with the 1st star.
Yeah, and Silovs too, with no slouch of a game, stopping 36 of 38 against. So I mean, 2 fantastic goaltending performances both ways. Hopefully, Silovs can keep that going, and Abby can come out flying and keep this energy. Know that they kind of have the physical edge and can shut down that top line and just clean this up in 4 games and wait. Well, it looks like Charlotte might have Laval's number. They have won game 1 and game 2, 5-1 and 5-2. So that series might not last very long. So
I
we
watched
might
the highlights for game. I can't believe they played. I think they played back-to-back nights too, which is also crazy.
Yeah.
And yeah, I watched the highlights for the first one. I haven't seen the second highlights, but man, like Charlottetown was all over them. Like I don't think Laval has a chance in the world. And they lost both the first games at home, right? So
yeah.
Whoops. Next game is on Saturday night. It's going to be a 7:00 start for Abby. Are you going to be around for that one, brother?
I will be here.
Nice. Yeah. The fans are always upset when you're not here. And I'm like, listen, he's not getting paid for this. He's doing that to the kindness of his damn heart. So he's not always here, but the majority of the time. Have you seen the numbers on I think the post game shows up to like 70 plus and the side shows up to like 80, something like that now for the amount of shows that you've done for me. So I greatly appreciate all the effort you put in.
Hey, you know what? It's you who's doing all the work. I'm just here to help out and take some of the talking time off of your voice so you can have a break. And our back and forth have just been so natural. So it's just been fun to come on and chat about the Canucks and keep everyone updated. And, you asking me to follow the Abbotsford Canucks has given me such a deeper passion for the organization. And knowing all these young players and seeing a little more into the future gives me a much more positive mindset than some of the other fans in the fan base because they only look as far as the big club.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a lot of solutions in this young club that can filter in next year and make us potentially a pretty competitive team right away. A lot of these young guys are ready to make that leap. I mean, if you look at Victor Mancini and what he's done in the playoffs, everyone says he looks like a man among boys, right? He has outgrown the AHL, so there's only one more place for him, the NHL. And, so that's coming next season. Like there's a lot of good, positive things to come out of this. And I'm just so happy that you and I can bring this to people and talk about it and have people engaged yeah, I've really enjoyed it, and I'm super grateful for the opportunity to come on and chat about it, and just yeah, it's not even like work at all. It's fun for me, and I absolutely have a blast doing it. So I try to make as much as I can because we got to keep the chat happy.
This is what the Gen. I think these are hearts. Gen Z hearts. I think these are Gen Z hearts. Or do they? Are these? They're not doing this anymore, right? They're doing this now. Either way, heart Dusty. Thank you very much for being here tonight, brother. It's a late one, so go spend some time with Katie and tell her I say hi, and we'll see you on Saturday, brother.
Absolutely. And thanks again for having me. And chat, thanks for hanging out. Look at that subscriber count. We're getting close to 1,000. And that's going to be pretty dang exciting.
The poll question right now has 90 votes on it. So and I think they said we up like 100 people watching at one point. That's crazy.
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
Awesome, Dustin.
Keep up the hard work. You deserve it.
Wouldn't be able to do without you, buddy. Have a good night.
You too.
Nothing is perfect.